This is lesson 6 of Columbus and the Pilgrims. This lesson is called Colonies in Native American Lands. So today we're going to learn about a group of people called the Pilgrims. Pilgrims were not always called pilgrims, and that is because the word pilgrim means someone who makes a very long journey far from home. So when this story begins, the Pilgrims have not left home, so they are not pilgrims yet. Instead, they are known as Separatists. So go ahead and listen to the story about the Separatists who want to leave England. It says, do you remember which country's king and queen helped Columbus sail across the ocean from Europe? Columbus was one of the first explorers to visit what they called the New World. But after Columbus's voyage, many other countries in Europe began sending their own explorers, hoping to find gold and jewels. Their men sailed westward from France, Portugal, the Netherlands, and England. For the next 100 years, European explorers and their ships sailed back and forth across the Atlantic Ocean, exploring the continent of North America and updating their maps based on what they learned. As time passed, the Europeans began to build colonies in America. Years before, Columbus tried to start a colony in Hispaniola by claiming that the new land he had come upon belonged to King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella. Now, 100 years later, other Europeans were doing the same thing. In 1607, the English people started one of the first colonies in the New World. They named it Jamestown, after their ruler, King James. King James was well liked by the English people, but sometimes he used his power badly. As head of the Church of England, King James declared that everyone in his kingdom must share his religion or beliefs. They must all attend the Church of England, the King's Church, and pray as the king prayed. The English people had no choice. Now, most people in England followed the king's command, but there were some English people who did not. One group was known as the Separatists. The Separatists had their own beliefs about how to pray. They were disappointed with the king's church, so they formed their own church and began meeting in homes. Well, when they refused to attend the Church of England, the king was furious. If you miss the Sunday worship service, he told them, you must pay a fine. And, he warned them, if you continue to miss the church services, I will command my soldiers to arrest you and throw you in jail. Now, you can imagine how upset the Separatists became. They lived in fear of being arrested and thrown in jail. One woman whispered to a friend, I think someone working for the king has been watching our house. Her friend looked nervously around them to make sure that no one else was listening, and then said, my husband thinks someone has been following us in the streets to see if we are going to our own prayer meetings instead of going to church. Who knows which one of us might be next? Life became harder and harder for the Separatists in England. Other people looked at them curiously, and they did not know what to do. They heard that people in other countries were able to worship as they pleased, and so they made the decision to leave Europe behind. They would look for a way to reach North America. The Separatists were about to begin a pilgrimage or a journey to this continent that was brand new to them. From here on, they would be known as Pilgrims.